What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Dead Island 2. I wanted to specifically talk about this game. I was considering talking about more, like kind of a combination video, and we'll start those back up tomorrow, I promise. But I want to talk about Dead Island 2 because, you know, closing the show, closing Gamescom is a big job, and, you know, it wasn't the biggest thing of all time. It was obviously something we saw coming because it was leaked, you know, a few days ago. I actually like that Randy Pitchford even said that for Tales from the Borderlands. He said, you know, this was already leaked out, but for those that didn't know. So, you know, it's got all that stuff kind of working against it. Obviously, it's part of a franchise that is not spectacular. It was kind of in the shadow after Dying Light came out. It was in the shadow, and obviously it's been forever since the game is out, but this video is not a negative video actually at all. Let's get the negatives out in those first 30 seconds. Dead Island 2 looks incredible. I just want to throw that out there. Now, that does not mean that the game is going to be incredible, right? I've been burned. In fact, I've been burned by Dead Island 1. In fact, Dead Island 1's trailer is one of the greatest trailers ever created. And then Dead Island, the game, in my opinion, is just not very good at all. I know there's like a soft spot a lot of people have for specifically the combat, and then everything else is kind of just like, eh. And I feel like that's still the strength. I really do. I think visually the game has definitely taken several steps up. The game from character models, you know, even when you're talking to people, in the gameplay that they're showing, looks great. It looks really, I mean, obviously, you know, the cinematic cutscene, you expect that to look good. If that doesn't look good, then there's, you know, that's the easiest thing to get right. So you got that, but then like the models and everything looked really good in the actual game, and the game looks fun. It just looks downright fun. And that's, you know, we've had that discussion with like Saints Row, how much can fun carry the game? And the answer is it can carry it as long as it actually is fun. If it's like sometimes fun, sometimes not fun, that's not enough to carry a game if everything else sucks, right? I've known that for a long time. We've talked about that for a long time. I think Saints Row is kind of a recent example that people are pointing at for that. And I hope that Dead Island 2 does it right, because I really feel that the visuals are going to be fine. It's got that flair, right? It's got that color to it that some other zombie games wouldn't have, more like dark and grim. This one's very vibrant and light, right? And I like that. I really appreciate that. And I like that about the first one. I like that about this one. So visually, I think they're going to be fine. Combat-wise, I mean, it looks really good. I have no reason to doubt the combat level, you know, as of right now. And then everything else, you know, we'll see. You know, LA kind of already is a zombie-infested kind of area in real life. So I wonder how they'll do that in the game. But I feel like they should be okay. The biggest thing is just going to be, well, to me, like as a person, the game comes out a week before Hogwarts Legacy, comes out a few days after the Dead Space remake and Forspoken. Those games come out like a week before it. So it's in a bad, and you know, it's not October or November, so it is, I guess, better than that. But it's in a rough, you know, release window where I feel like it could get overlooked. If it's an okay game, it would, I think, fall down for me, right? Because it's like, all right, well, it's fine, but I'm going to have other games to play. But to be flat out honest, in terms of, again, like setting the stage for how much of a disaster, can we say that? I think that's not really all that controversial. How much of a disaster it's really been for this franchise, right? Having a first game that was so-so, trailer really built it up wrongly because it didn't match the tone. The game could have been very fine to a lot of people. People may very much like Dead Island, but you have to admit it's not the same tone that the trailer gives off. So it just set wrong expectations. So you start there, then you go to an uneven game. I know there's Riptide, and then you go to just this game has been handed off multiple times. It, you know, the first trailer, I believe, what was 8 years ago. Now these people, the ones that are working on this game, 4 years. They've worked on it for 4 years. So obviously it had a very troubled first 4 years and was in limbo and then was picked up and then off to the races. So I want to give these people a chance because they're not responsible for the 8 years. They're not responsible for Dead Island 1. They're responsible for this game. So really, again, to their credit, I mean this genuinely, to their credit, this game is like almost a cursed franchise so far. This is about as good of a re-reveal as you'll ever get. Like the trailer was great, but it's like, all right, well, again, like a trailer, any trailer should be great. Let's see gameplay, right? And then they gave gameplay. It's like, all right, I actually didn't really expect you to do that. And then they did do the gameplay. It's like, you know what? That game really stands out. Like you think of Gamescom right now, the live stream, and Dead Island 2 is one of the first games that pops, not just because it was last, but because it was a game that like had something there, you know? So I'm looking forward to it. We'll see how it does. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I'll see you all on the next one.